Joining us now, we've got Mohamed El-Erian, Allianz Chief Economic Advisor, and Liz Peek, Fox News contributor. So I want to share with what we were talking about before we went on the air. Yes, the Challenger grade number in October had 153,000 layoffs. Okay, not good. And for some reason, no one wants to write about the 283,000 hires, almost twice the layoffs. Hat tip to my old friend and colleague, Robert Sinch. I mean, let's just be fair, right? If bad, I know there's also hires, okay? So I don't think this interrupts what I'm labeling as a stock market boom, and there's an economic boom. People just don't want to write about it.
They really don't want to write about it because the midterms are going to be all about the economy. We saw that in these recent elections. I think the other thing about the Challenger Gray stuff is big headlines, 1 million layoffs during the current year. Over 300,000 were government employees. And I get it. That's very hard for those government employees who lost their jobs. But remember, the numbers were so inflated during the Biden years by government hires. Is that a good thing? No, you can't build an economy on government hires, Larry. And so, yes, we've had a lot of people in the government lose their jobs, but the private sector has not been nearly as badly hit, if you will, by layoffs. You've had about 100,000 jobs lost in tech so far this year, but everything else looks pretty okay. And you have a Gallup survey that says business hiring is okay. Bank of America's internal data says the jobs market is okay. Everybody's freaking out because we don't have the BLS monthly jobs numbers, which are always terribly wrong.
Do you miss it? Do you miss it
no,
desperately?
I don't. I think we know more because we don't have them.
When you have breakfast, I mean, where are the BLS job numbers? Mohamed, though, it's a point that Scott Bessent, Treasury man Scott Bessent made many, many months ago. It's the private economy that they want to reinvigorate. It's not the government economy, it's the private economy. And from the looks of it, they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, the private economy is booming. You mentioned growth, you mentioned the stock market. I would mention innovation. We are leading the world in innovation, especially in artificial intelligence. So it looks good. We must deal with the sense of an affordability squeeze. Mm-hmm. People out there were expecting prices to come down. Now, certain prices have come down. Energy is one, pharmaceutical is another one. The cost of mortgage has come down.
Gasoline prices, Trump, I know he exaggerates, he embellishes, okay, I work for him. But I was looking at the AAA map. Actually, about half the states have a 2 handle. I'm not saying $2, I'm just saying it has a 2 handle. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, maybe half to almost 2/3. We're producing almost 14 million barrels a day. That's a lot of production. In 1 year, he's picked up 1 million barrels per day. I'm just saying, how bad is the inflation thing? Or is it a psychological hangover from the Biden inflation, which I know people think about? They lost real wages pretty badly, and even though real wages are picking up some, they're still hung over from the law. I mean, they lost a lot of money in those 4 years.
So I'll tell you, the conversation I have when I tell people inflation has come down, they say, no, prices haven't come down. Yeah. I said, no, inflation is a change in prices. So because we had a huge price shock in 2021, 2022, the effects of that shock are still very much in people's lives because they were anchored by the old prices, and that's normal. We had 9% inflation in 2022.
We did. And the cumulative inflation was over 20%, which is pretty rough. So, okay, you're going to get, I guess somebody said the jobs report that we missed will be released in early December. I'm assuming the government shutdown thing is over. And then you'll get inflation reports and blah, blah, blah. So what does the Fed do here?
Okay, so I think the Fed is going to cut again. Mm-hmm. I know Jay Powell was very iffy about that because we don't have the data, the all-important data. And I think because also inflation isn't going down the way it was, that it backed up a little bit to 2.8% or whatever. But I think there's I think he has got to be feeling a tremendous amount of pressure about housing, and people are making the case that the tariff impact on inflation is a one-time deal. And for the first time in that press conference that he had after the last meeting, he actually acknowledged it is a step up in prices. It's not an ongoing kind of insistent push for prices going higher, which I thought was kind of a breakthrough for Jay Powell.
Better late than never.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but
I mean,
yes.
every mainstream economist's been saying that.
I know.
Practically the whole
But
year.
he wasn't. I mean, he kept,
No, I
he
get it.
kept buying the narrative that this was
He
sort of
drives us all
a big
crazy.
pressure point. So I think if he believes that, and we haven't really seen, even the left-wing media is saying, there just hasn't been much showing up of tariff pressures and inflation. So I think he's, and the jobs number, again, they're not strong, but they're not terribly weak.
Mohamed,
I think he'll cut.
you were one of the first to say go 50. You were one of the first to say he should go. But what are you thinking now?
So I can tell you the market probability went from 92% to 62% because of what Chair Powell said, because of this notion that if you're driving in the fog, you should slow down.
Oh, yeah.
But we know the destination, the lower rates. I certainly think they should cut. Do I think they will cut? I'm not so sure. And I think you see that uncertainty in the market pricing right now.
Just to further, let's have some fun. We got to get out. You first. Do you think the next 6 months, CPI, faster, slower? This is binary. Faster, slower. There's no middle ground here. Real fast.
Slower.
Slower. Liz Peek.
Slower.
Good. Kudlow, slower. Thank you. Mohamed El-Erian and Liz Peek. That was terrific stuff.